Hello, guys. During the review process for Form N400, the immigration officer will ask personal questions and yes or no questions based on the information that you submitted on the Form N400. In order to help you practice easily the Form N400, we included the personal questions, all yes or no questions, and some random vocabulary definitions in this lesson. This is how the officer asks you during the interview. This is a helpful practice, so make sure you practice it thoroughly until you feel good about it. All right, let's get started. Are you filing for naturalization under the general provision?
Yes, I have been a lawful permanent resident for 7 years.
When did you get your green card?
I got my green card on April 24th, 2017.
Who sponsored you?
My parents sponsored me.
How long have you lived in the U.S.?
I lived in the U.S. for 7 years.
What is your current legal name?
Roberto Aguirre.
Have you used any other names since birth?
No.
Do you want to change your name?
Yes, I want to change my name.
What name do you want to change to?
Robert Aguirre.
Why do you want to change your name?
I like the name Robert better.
What is your date of birth?
My date of birth is January 6th, 1983.
What is your social security number?
681-057-3598.
Do you want the Social Security Administration to issue you a new Social Security card and update your immigration status when you become a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Where are you from?
I'm from Ecuador.
What is your country of citizenship or nationality?
Ecuador.
Are you a citizen of any other country?
No, I am only an Ecuador citizen.
Was one of your parents a U.S. citizen before your 18th birthday?
No.
What is your height?
I'm 5 feet 7 inches.
What is your hair color?
My hair color is black.
What is your current physical address?
Currently, I live at 3014 Eisenhower Avenue, Ames, Iowa, 50010.
Is your current physical address also your mailing address?
Yes, it is the same.
What is your current mailing address?
It's the same as my physical address.
When did you move to the current address?
I moved to the current address on December 8th, 2022.
Have you moved after you filed your citizenship application?
No.
Where did you live before?
1533 Allison Avenue, Des Moines, Iowa, 50314.
When did you start living at that address?
I started living at that address on March 13th, 2019.
Have you lived at any other addresses in the last 5 years?
No, I haven't lived anywhere else in the last 5 years.
What is your current marital status?
I'm married.
When did you get married?
I got married on July 25th, 2011.
How many times have you been married?
2 times.
What is your current spouse's legal name?
Her legal name is Carmen Guerrero.
What is her date of birth?
Her date of birth is October 3rd, 1986.
Do you live with your current spouse?
Yes, I live with her.
Is your spouse a U.S. citizen?
No, my wife is a lawful permanent resident.
What is your spouse's job?
She is a hotel housekeeping assistant.
Do you have any children?
Yes, I have 3 children.
Do you have any children from the previous marriage?
Yes, I have a son from the previous marriage.
You have 2 children from your current marriage. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
What are their names?
Adriana Aguirre and Giovanna Aguirre.
Do you have any adopted children?
No.
What is your occupation?
I am a shipping and receiving clerk.
Where do you work?
I work for Ryder System.
How long have you worked there?
I've worked there for almost 3 years.
What did you do before?
I was a manufacturing machine operator.
Where did you work for?
I worked for Pelton Industries.
What other jobs have you had in the past 5 years?
That's all where I've worked in the past 5 years.
How many trips have you taken outside the U.S. in the last 5 years?
I've taken 1 trip.
Have you ever left the U.S. for more than 6 months?
No.
Why did you leave the U.S.?
I visited my brother who still lives in Ecuador.
When did you return to the U.S. on that trip?
I returned to the U.S. on February 22nd, 2020.
How long was that trip?
That trip was 8 days.
Have you taken any other trips outside the U.S. after you filed your citizenship application?
No.
Have you ever claimed to be a U.S. citizen in writing or any other way?
No.
What does claim to be a U.S. citizen mean?
to state you are a U.S. citizen.
Have you ever ordered, incited, called for, committed, assisted, helped with, or otherwise participated in genocide?
No.
Have you ever given any U.S. government officials any information or documentation that was false, fraudulent, or misleading?
No.
Have you ever been a member of, involved in, or in any way associated with any communist or totalitarian party anywhere in the world?
No.
What does Communist Party mean?
Like China, North Korea.
Have you ever registered to vote or voted in any federal, state, or local election in the United States?
No.
Have you ever advocated or been a member of, involved in, or in any way associated with any group anywhere in the world that advocated any of the following: opposition to all organized government, world communism, the establishment in the United States of a totalitarian dictatorship, the overthrow by force or violence or other unconstitutional means of the government of the United States or all forms of law, the unlawful assaulting or killing of any officer or officers of the government of the United States or of any other organized government because of their official character, the unlawful damage, injury, or destruction of property or sabotage.
No.
Have you ever been arrested, cited, detained, or confined by any law enforcement officer, military official in the U.S. or elsewhere, or immigration official for any reason, or been charged with a crime or offense?
No.
Have you ever ordered, incited, called for, committed, assisted, helped with, or otherwise participated in any kind of sexual contact or activity with any person who did not consent or was unable to consent, or was being forced or threatened by you or someone else?
No.
Were you ever a part of any group, or did you ever help any group, unit, or organization that used a weapon against any person or threatened to do so?
No.
Do you understand what weapon is?
Like a knife or gun.
Have you ever recruited, enlisted, conscripted, or used any person under 15 years of age to serve in or help an armed group or attempted to work with others to do so?
No.
If the law requires it, are you willing to bear arms on behalf of the United States?
Yes.
Have you ever served in, been a member of, assisted, or participated in any military or police unit?
No.
Have you ever been a member of, involved in, or in any way associated with, or have you ever provided money, a thing of value, services, or labor, or any other assistance or support to a group that engaged or participated in kidnapping, assassination, or hijacking, or sabotage of an airplane, ship, vehicle, or other mode of transportation?
No.
Have you ever sold, provided, or transported weapons or assisted any person in selling, providing, or transporting weapons, which you knew or believed would be used against another person?
No.
If the law requires it, are you willing to perform work of national importance under civilian direction?
Yes.
What does a civilian mean?
A person who is not in the military.
Have you ever been married to more than one person at the same time?
No.
Have you ever worked, volunteered, or otherwise served in a place where people were detained? For example, a prison, jail, prison camp, detention facility, or labor camp? Or have you ever directed or participated in any other activity that involved detaining people?
No.
Do you support the Constitution and form of government of the United States?
Yes.
What is the form of government of the United States?
Republic.
Since you became a lawful permanent resident, have you called yourself a non-resident alien on a federal, state, or local tax return, or decided not to file a tax return because you considered yourself to be a non-resident?
No.
Do you currently owe any overdue federal, state, or local taxes in the United States?
No.
Do you understand what owe taxes means?
To owe the government money.
Have you ever been removed or deported from the United States?
No.
Have you ever left the United States to avoid being drafted in the U.S. Armed Forces?
No.
Have you ever gambled illegally or received income from illegal gambling?
No.
Have you ever been a member of, involved in, or in any way associated with, or have you ever provided money, a thing of value, services, or labor, or any other assistance or support to a group that used a weapon or explosive with intent to harm another person or cause damage to property?
No.
Are you willing to take the full oath of allegiance to the United States?
Yes.
What does oath of allegiance mean?
A promise to be loyal to the United States.
Have you ever ordered, incited, called for, committed, assisted, helped with, or otherwise participated in injuring or trying to injure any person intentionally and severely?
No.
Have you ever served in, been a member of, assisted, or participated in any armed group, for example, a paramilitary unit, self-defense unit, vigilante unit, rebel group, or guerrilla group?
No.
What does self-defense unit mean?
A group that protects a place.
Have you ever been a member of, involved in, or in any way associated with, or have you ever provided money, a thing of value, services, or labor, or any other assistance or support to a group that threatened, attempted, conspired, prepared, planned, advocated for, or incited others to commit kidnapping, assassination, hijacking, sabotage, or use a weapon or explosive with intent to harm another person or cause damage to property?
No.
Have you ever been placed in removal, rescission, or deportation proceedings?
No.
Have you ever lied to any U.S. government officials to gain entry or admission into the United States or to gain immigration benefits while in the United States?
No.
Do you know what immigration benefit is?
Things like a visa, green card, or citizenship.
Have you ever ordered, incited, called for, committed, assisted, helped with, or otherwise participated in killing or trying to kill any person?
No.
Have you ever engaged in prostitution, attempted to procure or import prostitutes or persons for the purpose of prostitution, or received any proceeds or money from prostitution?
No.
Do you now have, or did you ever have a hereditary title or an order of nobility in any foreign country?
No.
If the law requires it, are you willing to perform non-combatant services in the U.S. Armed Forces?
Yes.
Do you understand what non-combatant services means?
Services that do not involve combat.
Have you ever used any person under 15 years of age to take part in hostilities or attempted or work with others to do so?
No.
Have you ever ordered, incited, called for, committed, assisted, helped with, or otherwise participated in torture?
No.
Can you explain what torture is?
To hurt someone physically.
Have you ever ordered, incited, called for, committed, assisted, helped with, or otherwise participated in not letting someone practice their religion?
No.
Have you ever helped anyone to enter or try to enter the United States illegally?
No.
Have you ever applied for any kind of exemption from military service in the U.S. Armed Forces?
No.
Have you ever committed, agreed to commit, asked someone else to commit, helped commit, or tried to commit a crime or offense for which you were not arrested?
No.
Can you explain what crime is?
An action that breaks the law.
Have you ever ordered, incited, called for, committed, assisted, helped with, or otherwise participated in causing harm or suffering to any person because of their race, religion, national origin, membership in a particular social group, or political opinion?
No.
Are you unable to take the oath of allegiance because of a physical or developmental disability or mental impairment?
No.
Have you ever received any weapons training, paramilitary training, or other military type training?
No.
Have you ever failed to support your dependents or to pay alimony?
No.
Do you know what pay alimony means?
To pay money to ex-spouse after a divorce.
Have you ever served in the U.S. Armed Forces?
No.
Have you ever manufactured, cultivated, produced, distributed, dispensed, sold, or smuggled any controlled substances, illegal drugs, narcotics, or drug paraphernalia in violation of any law or regulation of a U.S. state, the United States, or a foreign country?
No.
What does illegal drugs or narcotics mean?
Like heroin or cocaine.
Are you a person born as a male who lived in the United States at any time between your 18th and 26th birthdays?
No.
Have you ever made any misrepresentation to obtain any public benefit in the United States?
No.
Have you ever married someone in order to obtain an immigration benefit?
No.
Do you understand the full oath of allegiance to the United States?
Yes.
Did you register for the Selective Service?
No.